My name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to topic 4, respiration. Our learning outcome B. Analyze the biochemical processes leading to ATP production in living organisms and how these processes are affected by physical activities and respiratory poisons such as cyanide. Details of biochemistry are not required. We are looking at learning activity E. Learners search for or watch an animation explaining how cyanide disrupts the electron transport system. They then pair up to share and present their finding. Disruption of electron transport system by cyanide. Item 1. Let's focus on sudden collapse after exposure. A laboratory worker collapses shortly after inhaling cyanide gas. Medical tests show sufficient oxygen in the blood, yet the tissues are unable to use it. Task: state the site of action of cyanide in cellular respiration. Name the specific components of the electron transport system affected by cyanide. State the site of action of cyanide in cellular respiration. Cyanide acts on the electron transport system located on the inner mitochondrial membrane. Name the specific component of the electron transport system affected by cyanide. Cyanide inhibits cytochrome C oxidase complex 4. Disruption of the electron transport system by cyanide. Item 2. Let's focus on mechanism of cyanide action. Learners study a diagram of electron transport chain showing electron flow or oxygen. Task: explain how cyanide disrupts electron transport. State the role of oxygen in the electron transport chain. Explain how cyanide disrupts electron transport. Cyanide binds to cytochrome C oxidase. This prevents transfer of electrons to oxygen. Electron flow along the chain stops. State the role of oxygen in the electron transport chain. Oxygen is the final electron acceptor. It combines with electrons and protons to form water. Disruption of the electron transport system by cyanide. Item 3. Effects on the ATP production. A cell exposed to cyanide shows no ATP production from oxidative phosphorylation. Task: explain why ATP synthesis stops in the presence of cyanide. State what happens to the proton gradient. Explain why ATP synthesis stops in the presence of cyanide. Without electron flow, proton pumping stops. No proton gradient is maintained. ATP synthase cannot function. State what happens to the proton gradient. The proton gradient collapses. Chemiosmosis ceases. Disruption of electron transport system by cyanide. Item 4. Effect of NADH and FADH2. Despite active glycolysis and Krebs cycle, respiration becomes inefficient. Task: explain the fate of NADH and FADH2 in cyanide poisoning. State the effect on earlier stages of respiration. Explain the fate of NADH and FADH2 in cyanide poisoning. NADH and FADH2 cannot be oxidized. NAD plus and FAD are not regenerated. State the effect on earlier stages of respiration. Krebs cycle slows or stops. Glycolysis becomes limited due to lack of NAD+. Disruption of the electron transport system by cyanide. Item 5. Why cyanide is rapidly fatal. A student asks why cyanide causes death so quickly compared to other poisons. Task: explain why cyanide poisoning is rapidly fatal. Name 2 organs most affected. Explain why cyanide poisoning is rapidly fatal. ATP production stops abruptly. Cells cannot carry out vital processes. leads to cellular and organ failure. Name organs most affected. The brain and the heart. Disruption of electron transport system by cyanide. Item 6. Examination style application. A student states, cyanide causes internal suffocation. Task. Justify the statement. State one difference between cyanide poisoning and lack of oxygen. Justify the statement. Oxygen is present in the blood. Cells cannot use oxygen due to blocked electron transport. Respiration stops at the mitochondrial level. State one difference between cyanide poisoning and lack of oxygen. In cyanide poisoning, oxygen is present but unusable. In hypoxia, oxygen is absent or insufficient. Marking emphasis. Identify the exact site of cyanide action. Correctly name cytochrome oxidase, complex 4. Explain cause-effect relationship clearly. Link electron transport system disruption to ATP failure. Apply knowledge to real-life poisoning scenarios. Summary. Cyanide disrupts the electron transport system by inhibiting cytochrome C oxidase on the inner mitochondrial membrane. This prevents electron transfer to oxygen, stops proton pumping, collapses the proton gradient, and halts ATP synthesis, leading to rapid cellular energy failure and death. Thank you for participating in topic 4, respiration. Learning outcome B. Analyze the biochemical processes leading to ATP production in living organisms and how these processes are affected by physical activity and respiratory poisons, such as cyanide. Details of biochemistry are not required. We have been looking at learning activity E. Learners search for or watch an animation explaining how cyanide disrupts the electron transport system. They then pair up and present their finding. If this has been useful, visit me at Mugabi Joshua Biology on YouTube.